सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल दबाएं ताकि कोई खबर रह न जाए।
So talk about this, but Pakistan and the vision of the Prime Minister is decidedly one which puts economic security at the core of Pakistan's future progress. Everything else flows from economic security. And if you internalize the concept of economic security, then you also know that economic security can't be achieved without regional peace and connectivity, because we sit at a location that we've always called geostrategic, but in addition it's really a geo-economic location. So you need connectivity and regional peace. If you need regional peace, what does Pakistan stand for as far as Kashmir is concerned? The Prime Minister of Pakistan talked about India taking one step and Pakistan taking two to match that. Why? Because that's his vision. Unfortunately, since this government has come into office, India has taken about 1,000 steps, but in the opposite direction. That's where the change is required. This Pakistan is confronted by an India that's gone from bad to worse, where intolerance now has reached a level that is reflecting in foreign policy every day, where Pakistan and the narrative of Pakistan in India is used to get votes. And if anybody had any doubt, just look at Arnab Goswami's WhatsApp messages that have been put out. What is he saying? And it will be great for the big man. And in February 2019, he's saying something big will also happen in Kashmir, months before August 5th. There's also talk about our news channel being the only one who was present before the Pulwama attack. What other evidence does the world need? I'm talking to you about Pakistan, economic security and peace, and here is an India that is moving in the direction that all of us know and talk about every day. Let me also say that there's always a conversation, oh, but what is the government doing? What is happening? Nothing is moving. You know, this is the difference between responsibility and rogue behavior. We've got a country on the other side that is seemingly making short-term gains, including tragically in IIOJK when it says, I've done unilateral things to change the character, totally in contravention of the Fourth Geneva Convention and many other international conventions. On the other hand, you have a responsible state that is constantly talking about diplomatic and legal channels and nothing else. Now, this is a difficult path. This is a path to incremental success, not overnight victory. But that's the path a responsible state must take, because remember, I started by saying it is about human lives first and foremost. You know, a lot of people here talk about, and I've often been told, well, India is on the path to self-destruction. Just sit and watch. At one level, as a Pakistani official, yes. But at another level, please remember, every day that passes with the barbaric and draconian attitude of the Indian state, Kashmiris are suffering. So we will keep pushing as hard as we can. The three words that the Foreign Minister and I have sort of been using again and again. Our approach to the world is unapologetic, no matter what. This is not going to be like the past where we are worried about what the other side will say if we speak the truth. The evidence is in the dossier that we put out, and we will continue to do these kind of things to call India out. Didn't used to happen before. You have to be proactive. There is no time in this fluid world to be reactive and wait for what comes from the other side. But we also have to be totally pragmatic. We can't be emotive, because our enemy wants us to be emotive, make mistakes, and cash in on that. We've already seen the kind of tentacles the enemy has. EU Disinfo Lab, I think unearths and exposes every single part of it, even though that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's what we're dealing with. So we must have patience, but the goal is clear, the direction is clear, and that is the right to self-determination of the Kashmiris, enshrined in international law, not by Pakistan, by the UN, whose responsibility it is to make this happen. Let me also say a couple of other things before I close. One, why isn't the world responding the way we want the world to respond? So the first thing is, yes, the world is not responding. I am at least not one of those who will say, no, everything is... No, we are not getting the response any just world would give to the kind of draconian measures and barbaric policies that India has followed in IIOJK. We all know mercantilist interests, we all know India counterweight to China, etc. But I do want to point to you that never has India been censured the way it has been in the Western press and media, by US congressmen and women, by UK parliamentarians, by human rights organizations, like it has in the past year and a half. We do a very comprehensive analysis of these things very scientifically. There's some people in the room who sort of work with us on that. And we can even show you numbers in terms of how the narrative on India has changed in the West. So it is not that the world is completely blind to what is happening. The challenge is to move this realization to an action which is doing the right thing against India, to push it, to change what it's doing in IIOJK, and then more importantly for us, move to a real resolution of the dispute. But things are changing, they're much slower than we want, but with our unapologetic, proactive and pragmatic attitude, we will continue to hammer this to push it as much as possible. Last point I want to make. Despite everything we know India is doing, Pakistan's vision is peace. That is the conversation we continue to have. It's the one-step and two-step formula. And we still stand for peace. Despite everything else, there is a way forward, there has to be a way forward, but the enabling environment for that conversation has to be created by the country that has taken that enabling environment away, and that's India. And that's where we ask the world to come in and compel India to do what is required to move this equation forward. It is not that we are pleading the world to come and support us in something, we're just asking the world to do what it has already guaranteed it must do, which is push India to a real sincere dialogue to resolve Kashmir in light of the UNSC resolutions. Once again, let me just end by stressing, think about the Kashmiri lives. That's who we stand with. The territorial dispute, of course, is there, but first and foremost, we must not rest till we get the Kashmiris the justice and the right to self-determination they've been promised. Thank you very much.
सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल दबाएं ताकि कोई खबर रह न जाए।